Hello, welcome to another awesome lesson about business. Today we're going to go over the steps and processes that you need to go through to start a business. Okay, hopefully you have your learning log, taking some notes as we go through this video. As we start, feel free to pause the video to get this done. First, you're going to give what your best definition of business is. We probably all stepped inside a business. We probably maybe watched our parents buy something, or we bought something. Hopefully you have, give me your best definition of what a business is at this point, and then I want you to list as many businesses as you can, okay? So when we do this in class, students come up with like 30, 40 businesses, okay? So go ahead and pause the video, list as many businesses as you can, and we'll use those in a minute. Okay, so our learning goals for today are twofold. First, I want you to walk away with a good understanding of what the word business means, and you'd be able to describe it really well to somebody else. Secondly, hopefully you could have the skill to be able to brainstorm new business ideas or new ideas about anything in general. So what is business? It's the exchange of goods or services for money. That's a very basic definition of what business is. Okay. All of those businesses on your list does exactly that. They give us something, whether it's a haircut, whether it's a new tie, shoes, food, a puppy. They give us something, and then we give them money, and there's an exchange. Okay, businesses exist for what's called profits. Profit is when you make more money than you spend. Okay, let's say you made $1,000, but only cost you $700 to make it. You made $300 profits. Okay, we're going to watch a video here in a second that is going to kind of talk a little bit more about profit. So that's what the basic definition of business is that exchange. That's the key word, is that people trade money for a good or a service. Okay, so now we're going to watch a video about these two guys. They start a watermelon business, and you'll see that their business doesn't go very good. So as you're watching, I want you to first solve what's wrong, and then come up with an idea of how you would solve the problem.
Two men formed a partnership. They built a small shed beside a busy road. They obtained a truck and drove it to a farmer's field, where they purchased a truckload of melons for $1 a melon. They drove the loaded truck to their shed by the road, where they sold their melons for $1 a melon. They drove back to the farmer's field and bought another truckload of melons for $1 a melon. Transporting them to the roadside, they again sold them for $1 a melon. As they drove back toward the farmer's field to get another load, one partner said to the other, "We're not making much money on this business, are we?" "No, we're not," his partner replied. "Do you think we need a bigger truck?"
Okay. So again, what's the problem, and how would you solve this problem? Go ahead and pause the video and answer those two questions. Okay, obviously the problem is they're not making any money, right? Especially when you start thinking about like putting gas in their pickup truck, their living expenses, the expenses they had to put into the business to build the shed. They're losing money on this business. And so there'd be lots of solutions to this problem. But they basically break down to two different options. Number one, they could negotiate or talk to the farmer about dropping the buying price, so lowering their costs. Maybe if they bought a bunch of watermelons, the farmer would be willing to sell it for 75 cents or 50 cents. Or they could, probably the easiest thing to do would be to increase their price. So instead of selling them for $1, they could sell them for $1.50 or $2. Okay, so they were not making a profit. Okay, they were exchanging goods for money. They were doing a great job at that, but they were not making a profit. Okay, here's a slide with 5 crazy businesses that are out there. You can actually buy snow online. They'll ship it to you. People like in Arizona or California who might not have snow for Christmas, they can go online and buy a bunch of snow for Christmas, so the kids can build a snowman on Christmas Day. Pet rock, yes. I think you could still buy it probably, but 40, 50 years ago, this was a pretty big hit. Everybody wanted a pet rock. I don't really know why, but people bought it, and you could take care of it and name it and sleep with it. I don't know what they did with it. They had fun with it. This lady started a rent-a-chicken business. So she had chickens, and she was not making a lot of money selling eggs. So she's like, I wonder if people would want to just rent a chicken for a couple of days and have it as a pet. And so she started doing that, and she made lots of money. These guys, I love this one. They built this warehouse, bought an old abandoned house, and they said you can come in and smash stuff for a price. So if you want to smash a TV, it's $20. If you want to smash a wall, it's $50. If you want to smash plates, it's this much. I'm just making up numbers, but that's what they did. They had success with it. And this last one is goggles for dogs. So again, no matter how crazy the idea is, it goes back to that exchange. Okay, they're exchanging a good or a service for money, and some crazy ideas work. It's pretty cool. Okay, so the next thing I want you to write into your learning log, if you need to pause the video, feel free to do so, is this definition of this word, entrepreneur. One of my favorite words. An entrepreneur is anybody who really is trying to make the world a better place, improving things. They're organizing a venture to take benefit out of an opportunity. They see something wrong in the world or a way that it can be improved, and they exercise initiative. They're like, you know what? Hey, we should do this differently. Hey, we should improve this. Hey, we shouldn't do that this way. We should make it better. Because a lot of our world leaders, I see them as entrepreneurs, like Christopher Columbus, George Washington, Martin Luther King. They all had ideas and did things differently so that the world could be better and the world that we have today. Any entrepreneur follows these 3 steps. These are Mr. Swallow's 3 steps to starting a business. If you want to start a business, it's just 3 steps. It's that simple. Well, it's simple, but it's hard. Find a problem, want, or need. Find a solution, and make money. So that's what we're going to talk about in the next couple of slides. So, problems. There's lots of businesses out there to solve problems. Car repair, window repair, dentists solve your toothache, doctors solve your broken bones. A lot of businesses out there are there to solve problems. Wants, they are your restaurants, your candy, your toy stores, your things that people don't really need to survive, but they cookie salesmen, donuts, things like that. Need, there are very few businesses that actually provide actual needs. So this like a grocery store. I can see putting a hospital in there. Power companies, water companies, things like that. So what you're going to do with your list that you started at the beginning is you're going to go through your list and color code them. If it's a problem business, if they solve problems, you're going to color code them red. If it's a want business, color code them green. If they provide an essential need, then you color them blue. So when pause the video, you would do that. Just a little story about that I've done before. I started a little landscaping business when I moved to Cedar City. I noticed there was tons of weeds around in people's backyards and around the place that I lived, and I said, I'm going to start a little landscaping business. And I went around pulling people's weeds, and I made money. It was fun. I don't think I'd ever do it again, but it was fun. But it still goes back to that exchange, right? They had a problem, and I said, if you give me money, then I will solve your problem. This is a story back from my very first year of teaching. We developed a hoodie for the middle school that I taught at. And what we did was market research. We put out surveys, Google Forms, and we asked people what they wanted. We found that they wanted a hoodie. We found out that they wanted it black, and then we did a bunch of different designs, and this was the design that they picked. So when we went to go sell our products, we had a lot of success because we had asked people what they wanted, and that made us a lot more successful. So that makes a business more successful. Your next step is going back to step number 1. Really, is brainstorming your idea. Okay, this is what we did in classes. Everybody got together in teams, and we created a list of at least 10 different business ideas that you could start. And we're going to use this business idea for the rest of the class in making videos and websites and radio commercials, a lot of different things for this business. Okay, so if you had to brainstorm up a business idea and choose one that you can use for all these things. Okay, in brainstorming, here are some guidelines, some rules to keep in mind. There are no dumb ideas. If you say an idea is dumb, that's going to hinder other people from sharing their ideas. So don't say that ideas are dumb. Be creative, think outside the box. Don't really evaluate ideas as the first step. Okay, first, just come up with crazy ideas, get those creative juices flowing, spit them out, and then the next stage is evaluating. Okay, so you go through them and you just start thinking about each idea. How likely is success? Like, is this really a good idea that people would actually go off? Because it's a lot easier to create flyers and videos and commercials about an actually good business. Okay, if it's silly or kind of crazy, people aren't going to take you very seriously. Okay, which one excites you the most? Which one is going to be fun to do? How big is the problem or the want that you're solving? Okay, so take your list, narrow it down to one idea, and that idea is the one that you're going to use for your projects and things like that. Just in summary, what is the definition of business? The exchange of goods or services for money. Make sure you're also making a profit. Do market research, find out what your customers want, and follow the 3 steps, and you will have a successful business. And that is all for today. Thank you very much.